So all I gotta do is create a YouTube. So setting up your YouTube live stream. Hang in there, guys. In the meantime, let everybody in. Selena, and we are good. So, all right. So it looks
So
like
all I gotta
we
do
are
is create a
live.
YouTube.
The only
So
thing is
setting up.
we're live. We're only going to need to be over here on the actual live broadcast with you guys. So we're crossing 50 HGI family members here. Number 51 with Amy Gamarra. So, guys, I would just like to begin very briefly. For those of you that were not at the convention, we had a great opportunity to go on stage and basically cover a short presentation. Which, as a matter of fact, I would love the opportunity here, since we are, to um, to go through it with you real quick because this would be convention. Let me just bring it up. I think that that's going to set the it's going to set the stage for the rest of the training today. Can you guys see my screen or no? All right, I think I needed to share first. Okay, you can't see my screen, but short you will. Okay, looks like I'm new with this thing. Okay, here we go. All right, so here is something that I want to lay to kind of give you a quick um, idea of what the technology stack that Stelvion, which is the which what powers the technology that you're using in HGI. So basically, what we want to do is accelerate, right? We have a system. You saw whoever were there were able to see Aki Rupani becoming an integrity partner, and what that means is he sold a portion of its business for multi millions and millions of dollars. Um, and this just basically tells me, if you guys have seen the interview I did with Aki during COVID, he was talking about this is not a six-figure business or seven-figure is business. This is a nine and 10-figure business. And so it was very happy to see how that vision became to fruition for him. And he's just getting started. But this opportunity is there for all of us. But the leadership format system accelerated through the use of tools is what we want to do. There are certain frictions that exist that make it go slow. Maybe it's changed. The leadership format system is not to be replaced or anything. As a matter of fact, it just needs to be set free. And what you see here on the right-hand side is there's a little bit of friction when it comes to licensing, right? People that enter the business, many of them actually never get licensed. Um, and then there's the training. Let me remove that sound of people coming in and out. I wanted to do that from the beginning, so let me see if I can do that now. Sorry, guys. I was just trying to. I don't even know if I could do that. Let's see, because I wish I didn't have to mute all entry and join sound. Okay, now. Okay, so this the friction. Talking about licensing, training, which is the assimilation of the actual system. The rapid assimilation of the system is what's going to make this engine really go. And then you got the marketing piece of it is obviously we are also in the marketing space. So how do you reach more people? And then how do you serve clients better? Because once you actually sit down in front of somebody, you could very well just sell them a term policy or an IUL, but you could do better for them if you know how to do a F&A and then be able to deliver more value to those clients. So the technology that we're providing to you guys is designed to help with each and every one of these things. And so the licensing part, imagine if there was a world there where licensing became a matter of just a few days instead of weeks or months. And also training. What if you could learn and also guide people to not only do their 3330, do their RTTP, and understand how to master the art of the prospecting contacting in both natural and cold markets. See, that's the whole thing about training. And then how do you expand beyond that? Like how do you market even beyond that? I'm a very big believer of monthly campaigns that you could do. Many of them could do weekly campaigns. And then when we say financial planning again, talks about um, how you're able to find all the gaps that exist in a client or a family that you serve. So that's what License Quest comes in to take care of that first part. Yesterday at a business opportunity presentations that we're doing with Jody, a lady who lives in Colombia. She lives in Colombia, but she's building her team here. She has a work permit. I think I don't know if she's resident or citizen, but she decides she lives in Colombia. She's building a team here. She's got getting her license here,
Yorum.
and she's very big
Maalesef.
on social media.
Peki, sağ ol.
And let me mute all here. And she basically stopped me and said, "Let me tell you something. I was trying to study with exam effects, and the content was too heavy. The terms was a little too complex for me to really understand. So I had to do a lot of back and forth with dictionary, chat GPT, have to go back and forth. But um, the minute I went into License Quest, it was like a whole new world, and I was able to learn things at a much faster pace than ever. And so that was great. And there's also a testimonial. Let me see if I can. I want you to hear this. We may not be able to play the whole thing, but I think I have it on my WhatsApp, and it's important for you to see it because this will help you guide your team into something that can help them feel like they got this. Like I got this whole licensing thing and actually get them so motivated and so engaged into focusing on passing that license while at the same time building the team. Oh, you know what? It's not going to be on the WhatsApp because they actually airdropped it to me. But I'll share with you here briefly. I know this is probably not the best way, or maybe I can join the Zoom on my phone. So let me join Zoom on my phone. Zoom, so we can see this. Because every one of these things are not theory. They're really, they are really starting. A lot of testimonials are starting to become um, alive. I just hope there's no echo here. All right. So let me see. I'm gonna identify that video first, and I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Here we go. All right. Hold on a second. Here I go. If I can figure this out. Okay, share screen and share screen. Start broadcast. All right, here we go. So you're looking at my screen. Now I'm going to show you a bunch of different photos. I'm gonna dive into my photos, but hopefully I can find that one particular testimonial here on a lot of these photos. So this is one testimonials I want you guys to kind of see. Hopefully you can hear what happened.
License Quest. License Quest has been incredible. I have been able to learn so much easier, so much faster.
Oh, I see. Anyway, I get to look like I'm new using this thing. Anyway, she is a different story. It's a 4 minute testimonial, but she's from Hawaii. And same thing, her expression was, I went on to exam effects. And again, I felt like I was not advancing, like the terms were just over my head. I was about to give up until Giovanni, which is her upline, mentioned the license quest to her. And when I first met her, she's like, she wanted to say something. She was so excited about saying something. I have not even ever seen her before. But she said, I have to tell you this. I have to tell you. I have to tell you what difference it has made for me. I was about to actually give up because as I was trying to study for my license, to me, it's just I was not capturing, I was not understanding, and it was more of a frustration than anything. And it wasn't until I actually went to the license quest that things started to make sense for me. The way in which this is built gave me the comprehension that I needed to be able to advance fast. So, needless to say, two phenomenal stories, and there are more, are people that are saying the using license quest, the way that was built, because of the way it was built, and because of the AI that studies the student, they're able to pass at a much faster pace. So right now it is a companion. You use it in connection. You're still going to need the exam effects to give you your certification to go past the test. We have started the process to have license quest be like exam effects so that we have so that you can get your certificate on every state that you have completed the hours required by the states that require that you prove that you have this amount of hours to be able to sit for the exam. But between now and then, if you want acceleration, if you want your people to not feel discouraged because the content on the current platform, whether that's the Kaplan or ExamFX or Excel, and you want something that is a lot more innovative and smart, License Quest would be a great companion for them to pass fast. And getting fast licensing, like I said, it does a lot of positive things for you because it means they get commissions faster, they get their RCTP release faster. And so a lot of the great things, momentum builds faster, and that's all great stuff. So that's one of the things that we have in there. And obviously, System Academy, probably one of the ones that I'm the most excited about. Inside of System Academy, you learn basically the two main things of what it allows for you to really grow with speed. A lot of it has to do with confidence and the assimilation of the system. Yes, it's understanding what we are all about. But in the end, it's also on your daily activity, truly reaching out to people. And because you know exactly how you're going to reach out to them, because you know how to master the five best moves for contacting your natural market and the eight fundamentals to open anybody anywhere, in the cold market, there is always new recruits coming. And then this is obviously combined with technology that helps you in the follow up. But guys, System Academy is a place where you and your team can assimilate to the system at a much faster pace. This does not replace the leadership format system. It enhances it. It gives you the ability to really go practice. And we're going to dive into it. I just want you to know what each of these things are and what they are designed to help you do. So again, I love having a 24/7 platform where you can polish your skill in the prospecting and contacting on either your natural markets or your cold market. And it's not just about you, it's about the people that you are going to bring to your team. I was about to do this sort of exercise at the convention, but I thought it would be a little too uh, for the lack of a better word, like too centric. Like it's just not about me either, but I wanted to make a point where I got all kinds of messages of people saying, you know what, I recruited three people. I recruited this very heavy hitter in this industry. There were people at the convention that were almost impossible to reach, but because System Academy gave certain people the confidence to make that call, they actually flew there at the convention, and a lot of business I know will result of that. So needless to say, I would say a lot of these recruits, right, were have a direct connection to that increase in the confidence that the agents are having to make those contacts that, first of all, they get in the system at no cost. And, it's like an indirect recruiting. Um, so System Academy is super excited. And then you have the weblet. Many people have reached out to me and say, I ran out of the people that I know. I first came in, I had a list of people, and I don't know, like, how do I continue to get with? How do I go get some leads? How do I just get more business? And I say, look, if you've already exhausted your natural market and you've already mastered the art of cold market and you are growing at a certain speed, but you want even more speed, you want even faster, more and leverage social media automation, do an innovative campaign. Go to Weblet and get yourself an account and create an event. That event could be anything. We're lead with education. Pick a topic, whether that's retirement, whether that's protection, whether that's long-term care, whether that's income generation annuity, whether that is the
You were
risk
still in there.
that we have as a society when it comes to, maybe one of the things that I think very hot right now is what AI is presenting in terms of risk. You can do so many different things, but you can definitely have a campaign, and you can build that all inside of Weblet. In addition to a gazillion other things you can do, which we're going to go into right now. So that's the third pillar to this thing. And then finally, I say you have eventually somebody is going to sell something, because you don't make money for recruiting. You can recruit 10,000 people. And if those 10,000 people don't sell a product, they don't make any money, you don't make any money. Are we clear on that? You can recruit 10,000 people, somebody's got to sell something, because we do not get paid for recruiting. So how do you then are able to make the process of leaving every client and every recruit truly better than you found them, at scale, compliant, and profitable? I'd say the answer to that is Abacus Wizard. And why is it a wizard? Why is Abacus? Well, it's got to do with numbers, simplification, and it's got to be magical, meaning fast. So let me give you an example. Imagine I recruit Mr. Martinez, right? He's a person I met, recruited. Then after we do the financial needs analysis, I discover that he's a 45-year-old married individual who's a teacher, wants to retire at 65, has two children, right? And after done the F&A, um, I see that he has some assets. So it says here he has $242,000 in current savings, but for retirement and all the assets is 269. So he has some assets, but not a lot of cash flow. He probably has, like, I don't know, I think it's $488 worth of monthly cash flow after expenses. This is important for suitability purposes. So what you're going to sell, right? If you're going to sell him a $600 product when his monthly cash flow is 488, he's probably going to be struggling to make that. You're going to get a chargeback, right? He has negative net worth. That's important to know for the annuity side. It's not that it's not deniable. I'm just saying this is important information. So if a novice agent looks at something like this, right? Because you have two things you can do. You join and you buy the IUL. How much can you put away? Boom, $300. Boom, you did the IUL, and you on to the next recruit and on to the next IUL. After the next recruit and up to the next IUL. That's fine. I'm not saying that you won't be profitable that way. But it's also good practice that you do the financial needs analysis, because the system says you do a financial needs analysis on filter number 7, right? It doesn't say sell him an IUL or sell him an annuity or sell him a term. All the products are good, but it's saying do an F&A, because the F&A is what will tell us where the money is. He's got $177,000 in tax deferred account, 26,000 in taxable, 65,000 in tax advantage. right? And so you may be looking at this and say, well, what do I offer him? And that's where the abacus was designed to help you and guide you, teach you where the gaps are and how you going to talk to this client about each one of those gaps that the client has. So in this particular example, there are 10 gaps for this client. And what that means is that there are 10 products you can actually sell the client. Can he afford them for with $488? No. But that means he needs one of the products has to be the opportunity. If he's already recruited, fine. Maybe it's a great opportunity for you to say, well, this is how we're going to actually help you earn the money you need to be able to fill all your 10 gaps because you have 10 gaps. And that may be children, college education, his retirement, her protection, his term and his perm and his will and trust and his annuity and his AUM. That's 10 products right there. Some of them don't require that he has to take from his cash flow to fund, right? Like he could do the WFS, the managed money without having to spend anything monthly. It's just a diversification. And then he can also buy the annuity without having to make monthly contributions, but the ones that will require some monthly contributions is going to be the insurance, the term and the perm and the children college, which is all right here. Sophia College, his retirement, his term, his permanent insurance, his term insurance, and the annuity. The annuity doesn't require monthly, but these others do. So, so those are the things that will go in there. And obviously, one of the things that you need to begin spreading out and letting people know is how far we've come in terms of really making this a reality. Now, this is 90% to where I would want it to be. But over the next 30 to 60 days, I think between now and Top Gun, we would have trained our tool and develop it and polish it in such a way that no matter where the e-app lives, whether it's iGo, iPipeline, or Firelight, you should be able to take an application in as little as 30 seconds. Actually, more like 15 seconds, but I'm going to 30 seconds because some could take a little bit longer. But that is 60 times faster than the best app taker out there. Like if you remember last time you took an IUL app or an annuity app, how long did it take you to complete an annuity application or a term application? Many people tell me that takes them 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Other people have said it takes them weeks just to get back and forth with the client about the information, this and that. I'm talking about the time it takes for you to fill every app, the client's information, the owner information, the beneficiaries, right? All the entire 50, 60 page. Not every page, obviously, is something you have to put data into. A lot of it is statement of understanding and disclosures. But let's say 20, 25 plus pages have data. You have to select a drop down, you have to pick something, you have to check a box, you have to so, and all of that information is in the FNA that you take in the beginning. Because here, let me say this, and I'll come back to this, just so that you understand why it's important for you to begin now, really mastering the art of of the FNA. Think about this. This is the old way. You sit with a client and you get a blank. I'm just going to grab whatever piece of paper here. You grab a blank piece of paper and you start writing things down. Now, what's your name? What's your age? What's your date of birth? What's this? What da 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 da? And all of a sudden, you have 3 pages of information on a piece of paper. And then you take it home and then you try to use some software or something, illustrations here and there, and you're punching the same information on every tool. You gotta use that information, plug it with your fingers. You have to put it into the illustrations, and then you produce that. And if you're going to create the case, you may have to enter that information and some other tools that you may be using. And then that's it. You present to the client, and then let's say that the client agrees they need 2 terms, one IUL and one annuity. That's 4 apps, and then you do a will and trust. So that's 5 apps. So now you have to, with your fingers, take the information from the paper and put it into the annuity. Let's say you're doing the annuity, so you're going to do the whole annuity application, and you still have to go to the statement of understanding and the suitability, what is called the yeah, where you have to disclose what's the income, what's the assets, what are the investments they've had, is their income projected to be higher or lower. There's a lot of questions that you have to answer, and then once you submit that, you have to again with your fingers go and open up another company and again start typing name, email, date of birth, beneficiaries, da, 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 da. So that and then you have to do hers, and you may be doing that with let's say you do a term with Corebridge, and you do another term with North American. And so you got your fingers and you have to type that in again, and then you have to finish that, and then you have to go to the IUL, which is another carrier. Let's say it's nationwide, and you have to again I mean, really, you really want to do all of that? Because that's hours. I don't know. I have 4 kids. I wish I could take information once and then use that one click, and that feeds anything I need. If I need will and trust, it fills all that up. If I need an annuity, it fills 90% of it up. If I need an IUL, it fills everything out at one click, 15 seconds. So that's the vision. Has it been an easy journey? No. But we are at a stage now where we feel so confident that we will give you your life back and also help you build a great business by reducing the amount of time that you take, and 98% less time for you to take an application, or another way to put it, 60 times faster to take an application. You go from 3 hours, if you have to take 5 applications, you can go from 3 to 4 hours to just under 3 minutes. And so that right here, this should be probably one of the, you can even take a screenshot of this if you want, whatever you need to do, but this is for industry people. This is for your recruits. This is for you to know that this is the level of innovation that we're going into to help you write a business faster and even reduce the not in good order cases, because obviously the software and the extensions that we built for this are FNA aware, which means that they are client aware, then they are product aware, and they are company aware, and then you have a companion along the way that works with you to answer any questions you may have of that annuity application. You can answer. So if for whatever reason your upline is helping another team member out in the field and you can't reach them at that moment, well, you have Abby. Abby comes along for the ride where you can ask Abby any question about that application that you don't understand. It teaches you how to do the explanation. As a quick example would be you're doing an annuity replacement and you're having to make a case as to why that is suitable. So Abby is client aware, and if you give Abby what is the say the annuity that you are replacing, it will find all the guarantees from the company you were replacing, the fair market value, the what it may be asked if it has what is the current guarantee rate, and what is the income payout rate at a certain age, and so it helps you create that difference. It's a process that used to take hours. Now you can actually get all that information right there and then as you are filling that application. So those things are they truly become extremely helpful for for you. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I don't know if you heard there was like an alarm going on, and I was trying to figure out what the alarm was. But so yeah, I'll go to your questions in a minute before we actually get to the other thing. But I did, this was a slide that I was on stage. I was giving like 5 minutes to go through all of this information, and it was impossible for me to be able to explain in 5 minutes. Plus, many of you were not there. But this is probably one of the most exciting pieces of the whole Abacus platform. So you learn what to present, you identify the gaps, and then you can take applications at a massive speed. So in wrapping this up, when we were at the convention, which was just a few days ago, literally a few days ago, I shared this which is what we have discovered with the FNA, with the abacus. And $593 million dollars in total assets have been discovered through the platform, meaning that there's been now 1,947 FNAs have been performed, right? And more important than the assets, we have $1.2 million dollars in monthly cash flow that was found to be redirected to term, perm, retirement, education, you name it, estate planning. There's more money in cash flow than the money that's already committed to 401ks, IRAs, 529s, because that FNA also found that $334,000 per month are already committed. So, but that we have 1.2 million that we are finding in monthly cash flow. So those are staggering numbers. If you look at it from 2,593, I think we're very close. Like if I share, I think I'm sharing my screen still. Let me see. If I would go to Abacus real quick and we look at our numbers today, we're about to close 600 million in total assets from 1,995 FNAs. So there's like three or four FNAs that are just doing today. So we're gonna hit 600 million and then 1 billion and then many billions of dollars. And here's why that is such important. If you are finding that if there's $1 billion that are now having a conversation and you can find exactly what the gaps are and where that need to be redirected, there is no reason why your AUM business doesn't skyrocket, right? Maybe one of the reasons, and I don't know, but maybe one of the reasons the WFS platform hasn't skyrocketed like before is that you didn't even know how to properly refer or have the conversation. Well, I'm going to show you something today that can do that because many, I would say 99% of the people that are here don't have Series 65. And I'm not saying that you have to go out there and get Series 65, but once you have 10 million, $20 million in AUM, you're going to not only have sufficient motivation to get the license, but you'll be, in a place where you put that under your wing, and that's a very nice windfall of cash while the managers do the managing. I think that's the way that that's being set up. And so not only are you going to increase that, but also your annuity production significantly. Um, so. So yeah, I get the point I was trying to make. I think I've lost the point. Hopefully I can remember back. I was going to a deeper place here where you can see the full collective effort, which is where I get the numbers from, right? Total assets, where the assets are. Obviously, we have the illiquid, which is the real estate, business equity, and other assets like precious metals and things like that. But even if we were only counting on the money that can actually move, the liquid investable assets, is 328 million in just a little over 4 months, guys. Just a little over 4 months. And let's say that 50 or 60% of it could actually end up in IULs and FIAs, while the rest of it could be in AUM. That's still asset that we could put place under management if we know how to tell the story, right? And then obviously all of this. Now, so I'm just happy to see that we are collectively moving forward here. Um, and just how you can go in here and kind of dive deeper, right? This is how much money we could actually refer to AUM, 153 million and 154 million for FIAs. Now, what is that in commissions? If you think about, this is the money that's being found. We have 332 FNAs that were flagged for need of a state plan or review based on the FNA. $1.1 billion we have found in gaps for insurance means that out of all of that, all these people need insurance or more insurance. More people even need permanent insurance. So this, when you go here, you can see our collective impact, and I'm just saying this on less than 6 months. All right. Um, so before anything, let me go to some of your questions here. Let me see. I'm gonna go to the chat and see. I'm gonna begin from latest to soonest. It says, what about those who already have their license but no business yet? Well, I would say get them to System Academy. They will learn exactly how to flow to production. If they have the license, again, just having the license and recruiting isn't going to earn you a penny. You got to get them to produce. And the way for them to produce is, I think, two things is learning how to do the F&A and then how to have the conversations of the F&A. We'll dive into it. We still have 20 minutes here before we wrap it up, and I'm going to go through that. But I wanted to, because this is the first meeting we have after the convention, there's over 100 people here. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are new here. For those of you that have heard this, this is as a repetition almost. Thank you for the commitment. I think repetition also helps in many cases. The question says register for HCI Academy, Abacus Wizard, which is, yeah, HCI Universe is the place to go. All of these tools you find going to hciuniverse.com. Open up an account in each one of them. If you already have license, you may not need License Quest. The only I think for leadership purposes and to be in the know, you should maybe get your account with License Quest because there's a free version on it for you to know what the experience is for somebody that is new that wants to get licensed faster. So if you as a leader, like I see Van Cott here, he's a veteran with us. He's been here for many years. So he doesn't need his life license, but he has people and he's recruiting people. He's building his team, and some of the people may appreciate that there is a tool that can help them get licensed much faster. And then those that they have also a tool that can help their people get licensed much faster. So I say that to say that even though you may not need to, um, go through the entire license quest life and health licensing journey, at least go in there, take 5 6 lessons just so that you can see the difference. And you may remember the process you went to when you had to get licensed. And for some of you, that was easy because you're just great students. You have great memory. Most people here are highly educated people. You have to pass a lot of different tests, but not all of them. I had to take my test twice. So I remember the challenge I had. My English was not the same 20 years ago as it is today. So, a lot could happen. So it, we actually engineered the license quest so that a fourth grader could actually pass a license, a life license. So I'll put it that way. Um, so it says here, those tools are free. Yes, every single one of them has a free tier. Some of them, as you scale, may require some credits, but you can grow as you go. Because realistically, if you're going to use a lot of the AI in it, we couldn't possibly pay for all the AI that will be used. But we also design it in a way where you scale when you need to scale, and it's at your own pace. But every single one of them has a free tier. So you can actually tell people that we've got these tools that have a free tier for you to actually grow your business. Once your business is growing, you decide whether the value is enough to grow. I would say only License Quest does have a $29 one time, and that's because it uses AI from the beginning to study you as you study it so that it creates the course custom made to you. So everybody gets a different experience, and that's what makes it unique is that not only it's not like here's a course, you study it, this is a 100-page thing you got to study. Everybody goes through the same thing. No, not this, not License Quest. So what happens in there is you are being sort of studied as you are answering the questions as you're going through each of the modules. And so the next modules are being crafted based on how you're answering things, if that brings clarity. So everybody gets a different journey. One of the questions, will License Quest be an alternative to ExamFX soon? Right now, it's just a companion. We've already applied for Florida, Georgia, California with all the course. So eventually we'll be announcing which states are good for you to go from License Quest to License Quest Pro, which will give you the actual certificate of completion for you to actually take the test. Good question. I have a lot of AI taking notes, so that is phenomenal. All right, I do see Venkat has some hands, so I'm going to go with Divya. But Venkat, I think you're the first one who rose a hand, my friend. If you're still there, you have any questions before we move on to the actual examples?
Yes, sir. Good to see you. Thank you for putting all the efforts. I know you have so much sweetheart and passion. A couple of questions. First question is, this is a great progress or accomplishment what you've been going through. The tool looks great. Does this have any opportunity for doing an FNA through this tool?
Yes, that's exactly what this tool is for, to actually perform the FNA. And I think answering a question while showing you is the key. Um, there's one thing I want to note. I want you to notice. When you are first using Abacus, we have something called the FNA journey.
Mhm.
And the FNA journey basically is a set of tabs that you go through with a client. Typically, you want to explain the client what your journey is with them. Like first we educate, we provide a consultation, and we design a plan for you. This visual helps the client understand what is the journey you're taking them on. And then there's a presentation that was, we call it the 15 minutes of magic. And it's 7 slides, not a whole hour, just 7 minutes to kind of tell them, hey, Liz, this is, we want to teach people about how money works, and these are some of the fundamental principles that we want to make sure they understand before we move forward. So you go through that, and then there is the three goals exercise that you do here. And when you're done with that, by the time you get to the FNA, people feel confident. They feel their mind is at ease. They know why you are going to be collecting the information that you need. So then you create the client, right? You create a client here by giving it a name, email, and phone number. When you do that, you create a client like the one I'm going to show you right now. In this case, Mr. Martinez, right? So you basically create this client after you have completed these tabs, which is the client's information, family planning. Do they have children? What are their ages? And do we have college planning, for them or not? Goals, income, assets. I mean, this is your typical FNA, right? So you do the FNA here. So when you're done with the FNA, you then come to the client reports. This is where you get all kinds of information from that FNA. This is like the overview. Here you can see same thing, the assets. If you want the full details of that client, it's right here. And this goes to suitability too and compliance. Just know your client. You have goals, objectives, you have where the money is, what is the amount that are already committed, that are what are the contributions. Even though the client is already has $500 of cash flow, he's still putting 150 in savings account. So you would say you could redirect that 150 after they have the emergency fund and a high yield savings. You may not necessarily redirect the 250 that and 220 that each of them are putting to the 401k, because the employer seems to, maybe you can redirect some of it because the employer is matching is the employer the employee puts 6% of the check and the employer only matches 3. So maybe you could grab $100 from here and redirect that too, right? Maybe get $50 from here, redirect that too, and only get it to where the contribution of the employee matches the employer match. For those of you, most of you may know what I'm talking about. And he's putting $200 to the plan. So he has $400, 88 in cash flow, but maybe that is I don't know, two, three, four, $500 that you may be able to redirect to our products for the goals that they have, right? So this is the detailed information. Now, what do you do with that? Venkat. What you do is, I like to always go to opportunities because this is exactly where I'm at least able to see what are the things I want to talk to this client about without me generating reports. I haven't generated any report yet, but just with if I couldn't generate any report, I will just come to the opportunities and maybe have a conversation with the client of one thing at a time. And probably where I would start is to say, okay, so we have a dime gap. It seems like they have a gap for insurance. They have a gap of permanent insurance. They only have $500. So I'm going to look at these opportunities here, and looks like I can have the dime conversation. Now, this you can do it on a piece of paper, um, but you can also show it here for the client and let them know why they have $1 million gap. They need 1.3 million based on debt, income, mortgage, and education because they have 250 at work, so they need 1 million. So you can have that conversation and say, well, Michael, let's begin here because this is sort of a basic household item we must have as the proper protection. That's very inexpensive, and you are like $1 million short for based on you being the only breadwinner. Because you see here, the wife is not even working. She's probably doing the most important job at home, but she's not bringing income, right? So at a minimum, and you can have that conversation with Michael, but then say, hey, Michael, right? Once you cover that, you can go back to opportunities and you can see that they have the permanent coverage conversation you can have. And that would be this. This is the acronym Life W. So you can run that and say, it's good that we covered your term insurance, and maybe you haven't had this conversation about the role of permanent insurance. But let me tell you some of the items that are not covered by term insurance. You see, the need for long-term care is probably going to be at your late ages where term insurance is probably going to be done. So you need something that's permanent that can be there when you're 80, 85, and the likelihood of a terminal, critical, or long-term care need comes in. Also, you have an IRA, you have some money there, so the taxes to your children will have to be paid from someplace. Some people choose to have it paid by insurance instead of getting it from the asset. So you may need some money there. Final expense, this is too conservative because there's not even adjusted to inflation, but 15 to 25,000 typically is what you'll find as a final expense. And in this case, you have negative net worth, so it's not really taken into consideration the 2 to 5% uh, probate costs. But you will, if you lose your spouse, right? Most likely one of the two will pass first. And if your spouse, passes, let's say the women outlive men by 12 years on average, 12 and a half years. So that means 12 and a half years with only one social security check and then 12 years filing single, so less income jumps you at a higher bracket, and then your standard deduction gets cut in half. So instead of deducting standard deduction 30,000, you're down to 14,000, 15,000 because you're filing single. So you have a 300,000 financial impact and you don't have any permanent insurance to cover that. So you want to take that risk from your savings, or would you rather start on a road right now to fund policy, maybe max fund a policy so it can carry itself with some of the growth that's there. So you can have that conversation of why you would need some permanent insurance, right? If the money don't allow, maybe you could start with the term and then convert over time. But at least you're educating the client too on that need for permanent insurance. And so what I love about Abacus is the speed in which you can actually go and run these things that are right there and opportunities. Right now, I can talk to about the annuity. I say, look, even though your cash flow, we've covered your term, both of you have your term, but I want to have a conversation about the proper diversification. You see, Mr. Client, you have $250,000 in the market, $18,000 in the bank. There's nothing wrong with that, but the rule of 100 says this should be your allocation for you to consider. No more than $134,000 in the market and 110 in hybrid type of accounts. And because you're the only breadwinner, you need actually 6 months of emergency fund because your spouse is not working. If she was working, maybe this would be lowered to 3 months, right? But you're the only one working, so you need 6 months. And so this is a more proper allocation for you. So what is this doing? First of all, it's opening the conversation for you to refer 134,000 to WFS to start building your AUM business, even if you're not licensed, because that they will do that. But you can have the conversation about the 110 annuity. Or in this case, if he's young enough, right, you can, if it's non-qualified money, then you may fund some of that into an IUL. by max funding it. We'll see. And so, and this you will learn, guys, by simply just spending a little bit of time here going through understanding what the rule of 100 is, right? But what did we do? First of all, by doing the F&A, we covered the term insurance. We looked for an opportunity of permanent insurance. We sold $110,000 of an annuity for this client, and we referred $134,000 for AUM. Right? Now, how do you determine what to do? What is this 110 going to do? Most people would say if the money is coming from a qualified account, then you're probably looking to generate some income, right? Is growth followed by income. And this will just be pretty much also growth followed by income eventually, but with the opportunity for maybe higher upside with the volatility. So I guess what I'm saying is you can get both of those products done. You can refer to WFS, like when you click here to submit to WFS referral, that $134,000, Zach knows that the conversation to have with the client would be about $134,000, which is 50, based on his age, 55% of the money is what could be allocated towards that integrity wealth. And then you're going to have a conversation with the client about the $110,000. Now, you may already know the product. If you don't know about the product, you can go back to the client and you could go to the product finder hub and you could go to the annuity finder. And this is where you basically decide what do you want the annuity to do for you. If it's going to be growth followed by income, you want to know which of the products we have actually can do that. So if it's going to be 110,000, you can see which are the products. The AI ranks some of them kind of high there. This will jump to 10% here as we update. But you can do discovery, which is these are some of the products that are out there that can actually act as growth followed by income, that have income bonuses that you can look into. That way, you don't have to give somebody the wrong product if they're looking for growth followed by full access. Like if the objective is growth followed by full access, then you're not going to get that product from Nationwide because that's an income product. You're going to get a whole different kind of products because these are the products designed for growth followed by full access, right? Or if you want immediate income, if you want somebody who needs immediate income, well, you're going to get a whole different set of products. Or if it's products that have both options, you're going to get a different set of products that you can look into for that. As a matter of fact, there isn't one in our suite that is in the system now. But you get the idea, at least to give you kind of an idea of where you could get some information from the product. So hopefully that was kind of a long explanation, I think, Venkat. I don't know if that answered the question to can you do the F&A, but what is on top of doing the F&A, what that means.
No,
So
it did. I was looking for that because if
yeah,
we
one
can train
additional
out,
thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, finish.
Okay, one additional thing that I think you'll like is that once you're done with everything, there's something called application data. And what this is designed to do is to tell you how ready you are to take an FIA application. Like this one says you are 100% ready, meaning that the FNA has all the information it would need for you to take an EAP. For if it's IUL, you're 67% behind. So if I was going to take an IUL for this client using the extension, I need his height. So I need to, he's 5. And I have one way to actually do it. So this looks a little complicated, almost intimidating. So what you need to do, we did something called guided. So it only gives you the thing you need. So tobacco, never use tobacco. Now at 83, primary physician, Dr. Padilla. And IUL carrier, which carrier you're going to use. I don't know if I'm going to use F&G. I'm at 94%. What is the product? If you know the product, right? You could type in the product. It's going to say, I don't know, I think this is the pad setter. I don't know if I spelled it right, but now I'm 100%. So it
Ah,
means that now I can save application data, and when I take the application now, the application is going to fill the whole thing out for me very rapidly.
that's
That makes sense.
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I think
You're
it's solves a lot of our time compression, and all we have to do is learn how to talk to the client or partner. Make sure
Yeah,
that
well,
we
tell
are.
you what, there is one thing down here. It's great that you asked that. It's great that you said that. Thank you for that, Venkat, because there's a tab over here. You have to kind of scroll down to find it, but it's super agent skill. I was blown away by some of the testimonials from some of our team members that are saying this is just so helpful for me and for my team because there
Mhm.
are certain knowledge that you have to have in order to perform like a super agent. And one of them is how do you have that first meeting? So we have a 19-minute video that teaches you exactly how to have that conversation.
Wow.
All right. And if you want to dive deep into detail for the FNA, this one is 50 minutes, but it's only because I'm explaining in every detail what each thing means. The reality and in practice, you take about 20 minutes for the FNA. Okay. Because this one goes into detail what each thing means. And I think it's a good education piece. But this right here in the first meeting, how to have that first conversation is great. And then obviously over here is how to run illustrations. If you want to know and teach somebody how to run illustrations, we have the how to run illustrations, how to take applications for term. You have the how to take application videos, and they are short, like they get right to the point. How to take IUL applications and even how to move money, like how to move money from Wall Street, from the banks, from retirement accounts in a compliant way even with audios that are 5 minutes long that teaches you how to have that conversation between with you, the client, and the money and the current company managing the current custodian so that you can move that money faster without getting into making any recommendations of any sort of liquidation of any asset, which you can't do if you're not 665, and how to deliver the policy. So this super agent skills section is extremely valuable, specifically these two videos that teach you how to actually have the conversation with them to have a lot of success taking the FNA. So hopefully that also answers that second part of your question, my friend.
Awesome. I've let others ask the questions. It's amazing from having the right conversation, FNA, all the way to submit the application to automate it. Amazing, unbelievable. Thank you.
That is correct. Yes. Um, Yes, it's a great. Robbie just asked a question. Said I tried the FNA in the dime section. I cannot adjust the education expense planning. Here's how I would do that. Okay, and is anything? Do we have room for improvement? 100%, guys. We can get there together. So I would say using that same demo, if I was to adjust the need for education, I'm gonna go to the classic one first, and I'm gonna go to family planning here. Let's see. That may be the reason why. Let's see. And this is a demo also, so let's see. Use server data. Okay, cool. So this here in family planning, let's see that. So this is where you're saying that when you are include college, the college funding, here at the bottom is where you actually adjust. You can custom make what the cost of college is. And this is where you adjust. You cannot adjust in the dime, although we could give you that flexibility. By default, you have the public in-state, the private college, and then you could do a custom amount. So if you know that the cost of that is going to be 40,000, this is where you can actually adjust that cost. So when you save that, it changes the future annual cost for Sophia Lucas, and then the dime will be then adjusted because every calculator is fed by what you are providing here in the FNA. If that makes any sense. So hopefully that gives you an idea. So yeah, you can open your mic so I can hear you.
Uh,
The
Hi, Mauricio. This is
Hello.
Divya.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is really amazing. And thank you for putting a lot of time and efforts to build this for us and make our job easy. I have explored of FNA, and thank you for answering the dime question. That is something hitting me, like we are not able to, make the changes in the education section. That is something now it was cleared. And one more question, Mauricio, like the autofill technology. Can we go ahead and use it? I mean, I didn't notice that. I just want to confirm from today if we want to fill any application.
Yeah, if you have the answer is yes, but I'll give you exactly how it works, just so that you know.
Hmm.
If you go to the autofill and
Okay.
you're going to, this will eventually be a extension you will find on Chrome. So you don't even have to go through this process anymore. Right now, for those of you that I would say are the beta testers, right?
Technology.
We'll come here, download the file, and then in the end, when you actually download it and you add it to your Chrome extensions,
ومين
um,
درس ايه دورة؟
you're gonna get
ها؟
a key, right?
اه
Mhm.
certo, consigo
So
contar wajida.
hold on a second. Let me just mute everybody over there real quick. All right. And um, so let's just say I want to do nationwide or my nationwide. I think we go through my annexes, right? Like this is a typical application. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you use Allianz, North American, whatever. They all use either Firelight, iGo, iPipeline. They all do. You're going to
Yes.
get a little bit of a different experience right now. Over the next 60 days is going to be our total focus. Right now, I believe you can save significant time.
Mhm.
You'll get like maybe 90% of all the data that you need accurately transferred. Let me give you an example. If I'm taking an annuity for somebody in California, an annuity for nationwide. And this works with any carrier. You can see Abby becoming product aware. You can see whenever I click on this, Abby comes to the
Mhm.
picture. And this would just be, I don't know, I'm going to call it tech demo. And I have to take a new height select for a client. I don't know which account I'm logged in. Yeah, this is the right where I have a real client. So I have this. I go to my extension here and I see I need the key. So yeah, I think okay, hold on. Because I just updated this. So I'm going to copy my key because this is the account I want to link the extension to anyway. So I want to get those clients. So here's my client. So I can choose a client now that I did an F&A for. Let's say it's
Okay.
Rosario. So I can go back here and then just basically um, fill this page. So it's going to take all the information from the FNA and just import it, go to the next. I could do either one by one, right? Of
Mhm.
any of the pages, like this one, I'm sure it has like a drop down. If you can see here, it probably has like this drop down.
Yep.
And so now you don't have to do like a page by page. You see it selected the drop down automatically. So I just wanted
Okay.
to show you could do that one by one, or you could do autofill all pages or silently fill them all. And it will just go and start filling them up. Boom, boom, wherever it finds a page, it just does. So in the end, let's say you'll have 80 or 90% of all the data filled. You just do the rest.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
Okay, because all the data is going to it's just going to be filled out. So so that in itself saves a lot of time because you don't have
Mhm.
to enter information over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah,
You could do that if you had
absolutely.
all times, right? So you get all the sections. So what you will see as we move forward is that application becoming so robust and good that eventually all you will have to do is review the documents with the client, which you have to do, review the statements of understanding, but just send for signatures. And the heavy lifting was done in the FNA.
Got it. Got
So
it.
that is the vision, okay?
Got it.
And just between us, I'm just blown away that billion-dollar companies haven't figured that out, and they're still making us go and fill applications in every single place over and over again, taking 5 hours to be able to help a client get his 4 or 5 different products. And so, yeah, that's probably one of the things I'm the most excited about because, as you know, I have 4 children that I like to spend time with.
I
right?
understand.
So
Thank you.
between the planning and between the producing of the PDFs, like and I know we look, time is already up and we only got so far. But but I'm saying is that the if we go back to that same client, you guys know that I'm gonna go to four. I'm gonna pick on this client. When you go to any of these sort of you would call them calculators that you can run for any of these clients, you can produce. Let me go back to the where we were doing it here. Um, like this the PDF reports, something like this that I can explain. And I don't know if Venkat, I'm doing this for Venkat because I'll also and for those of you that are new, if I don't know how to present something because I have not seen my upline doing it, but I'd like to be able to know how to present like a 30-year veteran, what you will see is that if there are 50 calculators, there will be 50 kinds of reports you can generate. Now, you don't want to throw all of this to a client. You're going to use the tool you need for that particular client. You have all kinds of different levels of complexity or all kinds of different flavors in terms of clients. But I do want to tell you that what we are doing is we are giving you the option to generate the slides that help you present the case with guided voice narration, not for you to play to the client, is for you to learn how to present like a 30-year veteran and move money from banks, from Wall Street into insurance and save a lot of that money that needs protection from the taxes and from the volatility and then generating the income. So that took about 10 seconds, guys, right? So what you see happen here is a PowerPoint presentation that is actually, this used to take me, like I remember having to do a seminar and then have a client interested come into the office. I would take an F&A and then I would have to learn how to use PowerPoint sometimes to be able to present the case for them. So this already comes from the F&A. It's all the data with very strong foundation. Now you may be looking at this, you may be intimidated, like, but I don't know how to read or interpret this thing. Well, that's where the audio here comes into play and it teaches you what to say.
Michael, what you're looking at today is a blueprint built specifically around your $269,200 portfolio and where you are right now in life, the pre-retirement phase.
So it's going to go through each slide. Once you hear this once or twice, it becomes part of your subconscious mind. You know how to present this. So you don't have to be producing it with AI all the time. Right? Like now I know it doesn't matter which client you bring in, you're gonna know exactly how to present, but you have something that looks professional for you to present. You don't have to give this to the client. We do have a client deliverable called the PDF, which is the report that uses the same F&A, same rule, but now it's a deliverable for the client that makes you look like Merrill Lynch, right? That has the same exact, it explains exactly what you're going to do and why is that allocation and how you're going to fund it and why you're going to fund it that way, etc. So you will understand this easily just by simply reading it and or listening to the audio because it's the same context, understanding what the rule of 100 is. I believe the rule of 100 can actually help you grow your AUM significantly and also the annuity by 10x. You could probably increase your annuity production by order of magnitude, just understanding how to have that particular conversation with clients that has some assets.
Thanks, Mauricio. Can you show the page where you got these reports again so everybody can catch it?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you take the F&A, right? Remember, everything goes from the F&A. So I'm starting from the client. When you're done with the client, you come here to this is the client profile. So from here, you can do a lot of different things. You can go to view reports and you can go to opportunities. And if you want to produce that particular report, the three worlds calculator, it gets you there. All the data imports from the F&A. So when you generate, it gives you the option down here to produce the PDF or the PowerPoints with guided AI, right? That's not the only way to go with. You can also go to calculators, and any calculator you want to run comes from the F&A. So if you want to do the estate planning calculator to see if the client needs a will or trust, you can analyze the data and is saying that the client would probably need to have some sort of a trust to avoid $8,000 of probate costs. So what are the documents you need? Last will and testament, durable power of attorney. So you make the case as to why they may need that. Um, Back to calculators, you can run, Jesus, you can run anything. What do you want to run? You want to run the permanent life insurance? Like, why do you need permanent life insurance? Well, you need permanent life insurance because, and then if you don't know what to say, you just hover over each one of these. So it tells you exactly how to explain to the client why they would need, what are the items that are covered by this. So hopefully, Ben, kind of not confusing you here. I'm just showing like there's various ways of arriving to to those calculators. Once you get used to these,
No, no, you're great. I think yeah, you're great. Everybody has to go through this website and get familiarized and come back with the questions, learn, and
yes,
that's awesome.
we'll do more training. Probably to end it. Uh, the financial needs report is where we started. Like we wanted to produce a report for people, and so if you take the FNA and then you go to financial needs report, what it's doing is taking all of the information from the FNA, and then you will be able to produce all kinds of different reports. Like here, I can tell the client your financial health is 59 out of 100. These are some of the gaps that you have, and I'm going to go through them with you. So this explains, again, it could be intimidating for some people, but you can generate audio as the agent so that it explains to you how you would explain to a client. So I can generate the audio, and now I can hear how would I explain this exact scenario for cash flow, debt management, emergency fund, proper protection. As an agent,
Welcome. Let's walk through Michael Martinez and Jennifer Martinez's cash flow and retirement picture, so you know exactly how to frame this section when you're sitting across from them. Michael's gross monthly income comes in at $11,667, and after taxes, their take home is $8,513 a month. Their monthly expenses run $8,020.
bottom line is you can learn how to do the 6 steps to financial independence and explain to the client where all the gaps are. And you can determine the products. If you want to produce a PDF of it, you could do the PDF. You could also do a whole meeting slides from here. Um, you could generate those reports. But explaining the report, I think, is what's really, really important for you to know how to present.
Here's how you walk Michael through the debt section. And this one has a big emotional payoff if you sequence it right. Their total debt is $401,800. That breaks down into $136,800 in consumer debt, credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, and $265,000 in mortgage debt. The important thing to understand is that we only target consumer debt carrying above 10% interest, because below that threshold, the money is statistically better invested than paid off early. Their debt to income ratio is 34.6%. The threshold most financial professionals use is 36%. At 34.6%, they are within a healthy range. That's a genuine green light. Now here's the strategy. The system identified the 401k loan strategy approach as the optimal fit for their specific debt profile. Following it consistently, Michael can be completely free of consumer debt in approximately 5.0 years and saves them $9,041 in total interest charges. That's money that was going to a lender that now stays in their family. This is where you make the pivot that connects debt to everything else. Right now, $920 per month is going to...
Here's why I love this, because see, most people talk a big game about we help clients and everything, and then they avoid the emergency fund conversation and the debt elimination conversation because they don't even know how to address it. This system uses 12 different proven strategies to eliminate debt. And it because it understands, it's client aware and FNA aware, it identifies what of the proven methods to managing debt, it actually picks the one. And there's the thing here called the one pager. And then there is debt management. You can see here, these are the 12 strategies to eliminate debt from the top to the bottom, which is the most preferred, which is the one that provides the most cash value and leverage opportunity, all the way to the last one, which is bankruptcy, right? But so the FNA understands each and every one of them. So it will create a unique strategy for dealing with debt. And I think you could look like a superstar going there with a client because you're showing the client um, you're showing the client in the debt. Here's this page two. So the debt elimination strategy that was selected for him is based on the FNA, right? But if you listen to this here, the AI training you're gonna learn how to have that conversation, and then the emergency fund, right?
The emergency fund section is one of the most underestimated conversations in a financial review. Here's how to make it land. Michael currently has $18,500 in liquid emergency reserves. That covers 2.2 months of their expenses. Based on their income source, job stability, and family situation, the recommended target is $29,796, which represents 3.5 months of coverage. They are $11,296 short of a fully funded reserve. Frame it this way: an emergency fund isn't glamorous, but it's the difference between a setback and a catastrophe. Without it, one unexpected expense, a medical bill, a job loss, a car repair, wipes out everything else we're building. Now, here's the concept most people have never heard from their own bank. A traditional savings account earns somewhere around 0.5% annually. A high yield savings account at an online bank earns 4 to 5% on the exact same money with the same FDIC protection. On a $29,796 emergency fund, that difference is roughly $1,341 a year in additional interest just from moving the money to the right account. Ask them simply, is your emergency fund currently earning 4%? Almost no one can say yes to that. If they are still building toward the target, recommend $941.
Anyways, hopefully you get this, how important that is to learn how to have this conversation. So every time, what many of the people that have been committed to learning this, they learn how to talk the 6 steps to financial freedom, which is what? You guys know this: cash flow, debt management, emergency fund, proper protection, build wealth, protect wealth, and if you have children education and estate preservation. So you can have this conversation and take the client, let them know what the priorities, what are the action plans they need to take now to alleviate the immediate things. So, I think that was kind of heavy today, and we are way off the time, 30 minutes past the time. I always enjoy it here, and if there's 90 people still online here, it means that they're getting some value out of this. But we can't be here all day. So I think it was great that the conversation today and the questions led to the abacus, the FNA. Hopefully, you picked up something new today. Um, Always feel free to reach out to me if you find a bug or you have an idea. You say, you know what, we would love to have this. We are so committed to this, you wouldn't believe that we can actually make it a reality for you. Um, it is so deep. I would say I need your help to maybe have Hubert do a technology day so that we can spend like a technology day, because I think this is the way to serve people at a deeper level. And what if we could 10x our annuity production, quadruple a premium, and train our people at a faster pace? This is just it helps in that cost to not just have 30,000 people at the MGM Grand, but actually have 20,000 people at the MGM Grand that is delivering 10 times more value to the consumer than our competitors are, because we're doing it from knowing the client, understanding the gaps, educating them, and then putting them in the right products to address that. So much that I obviously wanted to share with you, but we're just gonna have to leave that for next Wednesday. Next Wednesday will not be about abacus. Your homework is to go do that. Next Wednesday is going to be about how to master the art of prospecting and contacting using technology that's on Weblit to make sure the follow-up is what does most of the heavy lifting for you. So thank you all for being. Spread the word. Let them know that they can use these tools by going to HDIuniverse.com. There's a free version of each one of them for people to taste it, and let's grow our business together. Thank you all for being
Hey
with me for
Mauricio, I'm sorry.
2 hours. We'll see you. Yes.
Before we close the meeting,
Yeah.
this is Subu. Um, I'm not able to log into Abacus, and I sent you the details last night in WhatsApp.
I'll look
What it
at it.
says is the SMS thing.
Sounds good. So I will do this. As soon as I hang up this call,
Mhm.
that's exactly the first thing I'm going to do. I
Okay,
got
thank
your
you very much.
message. We'll take care of it as we speak. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mauricio.
See, yeah, there's one more hand there. Siri.
Hey, Abacus. Sorry. Hey, Mauricio, this is Jagan.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
so one question like on the simple FNA, when I explore it, so can you just give a little bit of background about the simple FNA under FNA
Yes, I
tools?
can do that for sure. So the simple FNA, which by the way, you can notice here that when you do a full FNA, you
Mhm.
can actually produce the simple FNA slides and the simple FNA PDF reports now. Even if you took the full FNA, because you have more data there, so you can actually produce the simple FNA, which
हाँ
a lot
मेरे
of
को आधे
people
घंटे में
love.
निकलना भी है फिर
A lot of people love the simple FNA in the reports because it's just, it's the same 6 steps to independence,
मैं तो
but
खा lूंगी दाल चावल
it's a
और
little bit
कटोरे में
lighter.
लेके खाना है
It's a
तो आ
little
जाओ
it's a little bit lighter in the way it's presented. So what I could say is you can use the simple FNA journey. It's instead of taking you 15 to 20 minutes to collect the information, it's probably going to take you just 5 minutes because you can go through these really fast, which is your cash flow. You can see it's very, very fast. Debt, emergency, protection. It's like a very light F&A. And when
Okay,
you're done, when you actually go through this, right, then you can actually see the results, and the results will have all the data here for you, and you can actually produce a PDF. Now you can save the data, save to review profile, and when you save it on your clients section, you will see it like I think I
simple.
have some F&A simple here that I've done before. Here it is. Like this one is F&A simple.
So,
So
yeah,
you can
Mauricio,
see it.
one thing what I found is on the simple FNA, um, when the kids are added, the dime is calculating for for a kid's education just for 1 year. I mean, I don't know whether that is a bug or something, but I'll let you know. That's what my observation. Okay.
Okay, so it's calculating their 1 year of college funding. I'll look into that
Okay.
because it's supposed to be 4 years, but it's not. It's not doing because it's the FNA simple, so it's not doing the whole inflation adjustment like the full FNA will do. A good thing to know is that um, we're now in the process here where if even if you take an RMP or a simple, you
Uh-huh.
can always pivot to the full. And all of them will use the machinery to use the same adjusted inflation for college costs or retirement, like so that they're all uniformly. They used to be sort of independent, and you kind of chose which journey to go. But what is happening is sometimes you start with the FNA simple, the client has wants a little bit more, and you could go to the full FNA. So how do we import all the data from the simple FNA to the full FNA and just complete the rest of the information that was needed so you have a much deeper understanding of the gaps that the clients have. But I love simple FNA. Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answered the question. And thank you for that note. My number again, if you want to send me a text message, and this is what I really appreciate. Instead of just saying, "Hey, like give me some context on it," just like you did. Give me some context on what is that you're finding there. Even better if as you are navigating to this and you're find something that could be that we need to look at. Some Word document where you say, "Hey, look, I saw this here. This is
Absolutely.
whatever the way I'm not understanding it, or I believe that maybe." Um, this could be wrong or whatever, and then I can audit that immediately, audit the code, audit the calculation, and get it closer to perfection.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Had a great time as always with you every Wednesday. We'll see you next Wednesday at the same time. In the meantime, 630-361-4637 is my number. That's 630-361-4637. Take it down, put it on your phone. 630-361-4637. Make sure you store it. Send me that text. I'm here to listen and help out. Take care.
Thank you, Mauricio.